What's up, everybody? We are here with Jordan for another deck profile. So, tell us what you did, where you placed, and what you were playing.
I'm not going to tell you where I placed because it's the first time playing the deck in a tournament, so we're not going to talk about it.
Understandable.
When all you've been doing is testing against nobody, you pop off every time. But whenever someone has an Ash or an Imperm, it kind of hurts. But I played Plunder Patrol today. I know, big surprise. I'm not on Evil Twin. With Elf kind of gone, I wanted to move away from Sprite at least for the beginning of the format. Really challenge myself and play a different deck. And we just got our Earthship, so I figured I'd give this deck a shot.
All right, let's see what you got.
All right, so we'll put this over here first. Start off with the main deck, and we'll go engine by engine. We got it on the camera? Cool. First off, you play 3 Whitebeard. Pretty much the heart and soul of the deck. On your opponent's turn, it's basically Blackbeard summons an attribute that they either control or that's in their graveyard from the extra deck, but you don't draw a card. So that's the only difference between this Redbeard and Blackbeard. When it's sent from field or hand to the grave, you get to special summon any Plunder Patrol monster from your deck, but you're locked into Plunders for the rest of the turn. So this is kind of your main boy, also a tuner. So you can either tag out if you need to, or discard for your effects if you need to, and then you're going to summon another one. Comes up in a lot of situations. Next, another essential card, Bluebeard. Basically, this is just a free special summon if you control a Plunder. If it's sent from the hand or field to the graveyard, you discard a card to draw a card. So it kind of helps you fix your hand a little bit. It kind of sucks. With the card advantage, this deck is really hinging on you using your cards to the best of their abilities, but yeah, sometimes it just helps fix his hands, draws into hand traps, other extenders, whatever. Golden Hair, she sends any Plunder from hand to the grave to special summon herself. And then when she's in grave, you can discard any card in your hand, special summon her back from the extra deck or from the grave, and then you're locked into Plunders for the rest of the turn. So basically, kind of the normal combo before was normal summon this, make Almirage, discard a card, summon this back, link 2 into Blackbeard, and then that was pretty much where you ended before. But now you can do a lot more. So she's really, really, really strong, very important card. I would say all of the Plunder Patrols are pretty much essential to the main kind of theme of the deck, so you want to be playing most of them as their full capacity. Next, again, just another absolutely insane card, Black Eyes. Basically, you activate it in hand, you target a Plunder Patrol in grave, this summons itself, and then you add this back. So it kind of helps with hand advantage. And then its secondary effect, when it's sent from hand or field to the grave, you can target a Plunder Patrol monster that's in your spell trap zone and special summon it in defense. That really doesn't ever come up, but it's nice. It can kind of help you survive sometimes, but mainly the free summon and add back is insane. Also, it summons back first and then adds, so if you target your Golden Hair or your Whitebeard, and they crow it, this is still gonna resolve and summon. You just won't get the add. And then the only Plunder that I've been playing at 2, which is Redbeard, similar to Whitebeard, tags out during your opponent's turn. If it's sent from hand or field to grave, you can target a Plunder Patrol monster that you control, and it equips itself to it from grave. So not the most insane effect, but it does come up occasionally, especially with lists. Next, we're playing 3 of the field spell. This card's crazy. Discard any card, add a Plunder Patrol from deck to hand. All Plunder Patrol monsters gain 500 attack for each Plunder Patrol spell trap, and the monsters count as spell traps, so you can get to some pretty insane. I would cry if you just click stop. Please don't. So you can get some pretty insane attack values with your ships, and then if this is in the grave, you can target a Plunder Patrol that's in your spell trap. So say you have Redbeard and this is in grave, you can target the Redbeard will come back to hand, and you'll set this, and then you can just activate it immediately. So it basically just recycles itself. It's really nice, helps you with hand advantage, but yeah, field spell's crazy. Next, we're playing the Plunder Patrol shipping. Try to say that 3 times fast. And then we're playing Emblem of the Plunder Patrol. This is just, you can fusion summon a Fiend monster from the extra deck by, sending from hand or field. That effect comes up sometimes, especially if your hand is weird or you draw like really weird plunders together, like you draw Redbeard and Whitebeard or Redbeard and like Black Eyes. But the other effect that was actually crazy is the secondary effect. You can banish this from grave, target any Plunder Patrol monster you control, and equip either Emblem from your deck or any Plunder Patrol from your deck. So you can go into lists, and then you can just banish this. Thank you, farewell friend. You can banish this to set or to equip a Redbeard to your list, and then you can use the list effect, summon this. So you can end up with like 4 different ways to play on your opponent's turn. It's really nice. And then Emblem, you just equip to a Plunder Patrol monster on the field, so you can even use it with like the token for Jord. It gains 500 attack, and then you can send the equipped monster to the grave, special summon a Plunder from the extra deck, according to any attribute that's on the field or graveyard in either field or grave, and then equip it as, you equip the monster that you sent as an equipped spell, and it basically reads gain 500. So it comes up sometimes. You just really want to see Plunder cards in your hand, so that's pretty much it. The next engine, we have the right package. So obviously you know what this does. Water Enchantress special summons herself if you control Adventure Token. That actually can come up in the deck, but you can banish from hand or grave to add right. Griffin Rider special summons itself during the main phase. You don't have to control an Adventure Token. That came up today. And then it's an Omni Negate by shuffling itself back. So that's really nice. You know what the right package does. Obviously 2 rights. I'm only playing 2 and 2. Just because 1, that's all I really had at the time, and 2, I actually really like this kind of smaller package because this can recycle this, so you're basically playing four ways to write, and the deck space for me at least is kind of tight, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. And then obviously your Fateful and your Draco back. You know what these cards do. Target, bounce, anything. This just keeps your engine recycling, so yeah. Next, kind of the hand trap stuff. I am playing the 1 triple tack. Again, I have like really weird deck space issues right now, and so I only have this, but this is more of like, if I draw game 1, then awesome, that's great. But this is more for like what I'm playing in the side deck, so you'll see that. Next, 3 Nib with Elf gone and Tier Element getting, shit on by the ban list. I'm expecting this card to be very useful, especially with Cashier running around, even against this deck. If you're playing against Plunder Patrol, they can play into it. Pile decks, they're playing into it. Libromancer stuff, they're playing into it. So I think Nib in main is really good right now. It might change as the format evolves, but at least for right now in my locals. Next, 3 Ash. Got a lot of branded at our locals, so we got to make sure we play this card so that way branded fusion never resolves. And it just is a generically good card. Next we got the 1 Terraforming. Obviously we're playing a good field spell, so we want to search our good field spell. Triple Book of Lunar Eclipse. This could be just like regular Eclipse, but specifically why I wanted to play this one is due to the discard cost, which sounds weird that you would want to do something to get a card out of your hand, but since all of the plunders can do very different things when sent from hand to the grave, I felt like this was just really nice for me. And the only times I'm ever going to have to, worry about that is, it really ever doesn't come up unless I'm playing like into Shifter. Then that kind of sucks, but still, it's fine. Nichilus. And then lastly, Triple Imperm. It's just a really strong card, so we're here. Next, we're going to the extra deck. Obviously, our various amount of tokens because of Yord and the Adventure line. But we're playing, this is kind of similar to what people were playing beforehand. But we're playing the White Orwell and the Dragite. This is just, card is insane. When it's Secret Summon, you just blow up everything that's an attack. and it can make 2 attacks on monsters, and it does piercing. And if they get rid of this by like card effect, or I think battle too. Yeah, by battle or card effect, it just summons itself back by banishing a water, and it's treated as a tuner. That part doesn't come up, but it just helps you kind of be recursive. This is mainly your spell trap negate. That's the only reason you're making this. I am playing Nib in the main, so I can pull up some funny lines where I excavate 5, and if I hit a Nib or 2, then I can bounce cards back to hand. But I mean, that's not really coming up, and it only comes up in like very weird situations. Next, we have our Xyz. I'm playing Abyss Dweller, Bahamut Shark, and Totally Awesome. You can get into this very easily with like Golden Hair plus Bluebeard and still go into your Plunder plays. That makes this. This is an Omni-Negate. You've watched Sprite profiles on this deck, I know for sure, so you know exactly what this card does. This was kind of remnants of old format. This will probably come out. I don't know what for sure yet, but I mean, hey, it's good. And then Almirage, you really don't make this much anymore thanks to Yord, but sometimes this still comes up, so you got to play it. It's kind of a contingency plan. Next, Plunder Patrol cards. We're playing 2 lists. This is your monster negate and destroy, and if it's equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, you can add any Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand. That's all one effect. And then during the main phase, either yours or your opponent's, you can special summon a Plunder from your hand or spell trap, just basically for free. Next we have the Yord. This card is absolutely insane. Thank you, Konami, for finally giving us an Earthship. I'm waiting for Windship. But this card does everything that the archetype just needs. If your opponent special summons while this is on board, you can add a Plunder Patrol card from your deck to your hand, and then if this is equipped with a Plunder Patrol card, you can special one from deck as well. So that's absolutely insane already. And then during your turn, you can target a Plunder Patrol in your grave, add it to hand, and then set it in the Pendulum Zone. And then as a Pendulum Zone, you can declare any attribute you want, and you'll shuffle this back into your extra deck, and you'll give yourself a token and your opponent a token based on what attribute. So the reason why this card is absolutely insane for Plunder specifically is because there was just some matchups previously where if your opponent was just like playing a wind deck, or like Flunderies for instance, you could just never do anything. The only card that you would have to be able to activate is specifically Blackbeard to go into Mowork if they use like D-Shifter, which in that point it already sucks. But this just allows you to turn 1, give your opponent like a light token, and then use your token and whatever other card you have on your field to make your Blackbeard. Blackbeard summons out Liss, you get a draw, and then you can continue comboing from there. So this just did everything the deck needs. This might get bumped up to 2, especially with Kashtira running around, but for now I'm playing it at 1. Brand, I'm playing this at 1, basically just because this one doesn't really ever come up. But while it's equipped with a Plunder Patrol, quick effect, target, banish, spell trap, and then you add a Plunder Patrol monster. And all other fiends on the field gain 500 attack, so this coupled with the field spell and a couple of plunders in your back row, you can get to some really high attack values. 2 more, this is your target a special summon monster and banish it. It's a quick effect if it's equipped with a Plunder Patrol, and then if you do, you can add a Plunder Patrol spell trap. So they all do their effect and then add something in the same chain, or I guess in the same effect. So they all can be ashed, be aware of that. I don't like telling people that. I just tell them, yeah, it all happens at once, and if they realize that they can ash it, cool. If they don't, then they're bad, so it's fine. Lastly, the best card, we got Blackbeard. Basically target any effect monster you control, special summon from the extra deck, any attribute that's on your opponent's field or in their graveyard, and then you draw a card. Again, all one effect. And that's pretty much all this does, but again, it helps you with just managing your resources, because all of these to activate their effects, so yeah. So these 3 to activate their effects, you have to discard a Plunder Patrol card. And if you don't have any cards in your hand, you obviously can't do that. And if the only card in your hand is like a nib or an ash, obviously you can't activate the effects either. So this just helps you keep Plunder Patrol cards in your hand as much as possible so you can activate their effects. So there's that. And that's it with the extra deck. And then the side deck. The side deck is really all over the place. Again, new format, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to play. And I got some cards that kind of make it difficult to figure that out. But one, we got the Illegal Knight. Yeah, we're not saying that. But obviously just special summons itself, and then you can target 2, bounce, and then you bounce this back with Draco back, so that's kind of the combo line with that. It kind of sucks because unfortunately Konami doesn't have Foresight, which we have been able to find out multiple times, but this is a level 7, so you have to make sure that if you're using this against Kashtira, they have exhausted every way to put a Kashtira on board.
I had to teach him that one the hard way.
Anyways, but bouncing 2 cards is just crazy. This card, Sneaky Seat, this card's so stupid, but I think it's going to be really strong. Basically, when your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, obviously, you special this, put this face down, and then during the end phase, if this is still here, it flips up and it destroys every special summon monster. So, I mean, this card's just crazy because unless they have a specific way to deal with a face-down monster, this is kind of just like a ticking time bomb for your opponent. So it can come up against like Kashtira because Fenrir can only banish face-up monsters, so that's really funny. But for the most part, I don't know about this card yet. I just really wanted to try it out. It seems hilarious, and it actually came up like I think twice today, and it resolved both times, so that's really nice. Next, we're going Concealing Light. You know what this card does. Basically, Book of Moons everything, and while it's on the field, you have like 3 turns against Kashtira that they can't do shit, unless they just have crazy hands, but it's whatever. But yeah, I mean, you're just basically any way to flip Kashtira cards is what you're playing right now. Next, this is the card that really makes it weird. Triple Tactics Thrust. I wish they would have just kept it with tasking. I don't want to say activate thrust on my turn, but whatever. Basically, it's if your opponent activates a monster effect during your turn, you can add pretty much any normal or special or normal spell or trap, and then if they control a monster, then you can add it. So if they don't control a monster, you can set anything. If they do control a monster, you can add it directly to your hand, and it can be used that turn. If it's like a normal spell, obviously traps you can't use that turn, but you know, whatever. So pretty much you play a slew of normal spells, so that's why you saw like the one tactics in there, and why I'm playing the second. It's just like so many ways to see triple tactics talents. Against Kashtira specifically, stuff like Mind Control and Change of Heart, obviously, they're normal spells, so if there's just something I need to take control of, then boom, here we go. And then obviously with like Kashtira, if you take like the Shangra Era or the Arise Heart, you can just make your own Arise Heart, or you can go to Battle Phase Punch and then make Zeus. So there's a lot of different things you can do with stealing their monsters. And then lastly, the 2 evenly matched. This can also search evenly matched. So, you know, you go, you bait out something, your opponent negates it with some monster effect or whatever. You go, cool, thrust, effect, and then search evenly. Proceed to battle phase, they know you have it, so you just kind of laugh at them. So that's why this card really makes like side deck and main deck building weird. So it's something I'm definitely going to have to like figure out like ratios and stuff. But overall, I think the deck performed really well today, and obviously if I would have been a better Plunder player, I might have been able to take some more games, but we're working on it.
All right, sweet. You got any shout-outs? Anything else you want to say?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Shout out to Team Main Phase. Shout out to Geo. Go check out the store online. We got these sweet Aquaman sleeves. They fit pretty much everything. I mean, these are double-sleeved. This is a Pokemon card. We got, you know, Demon Slayer, One Piece. So they'll fit anything. So they're great. But yeah, shout out to Geo, shout out to the boys that are also on the team, shout out to Abilene Locals, and just be on the lookout for more main phase content, more content on the channel, and hopefully we'll get some tops in here pretty soon.
Perfect, thanks.